Hello, my name is Michael. I'm a professor here at Mercyhurst University in the Intelligence Studies Department. I teach Intro to Intelligence Studies as well as social media analysis. But I also speak Korean. I lived in Korea for nearly a decade, working and studying there. And so for the next fall semester, I'm going to provide a levels 1 through 3 Korean language learners program, right? So for Korean levels 1 through 3, this is introductions, this is speaking, this is pronunciation. We also want to introduce some tips on how to study Korean, some other tips on the best practices for studying language. So language learning is a muscle, and you have to exercise that muscle. So let's get started.
안녕하십니까. Let's get started. Getting started. So today, in this lesson, we're going to go through a few greetings, a few phrases, and then just to clarify something about hada, the to-do verb, right? So hada. So we have hello, nice to meet you, goodbye, thank you, I'm sorry, and to do. Okay, 안녕. Some of you have seen, I forget which movie or TV show it was, where the young kid's name was Anyang because he went around and said Anyang to everybody. But Anyang is the Panmao, the sort of, how do you say this, least honorific version of hello. So Anyang is something you could say to your friends or somebody below you in the hierarchy, so to speak, right? So somebody younger than you, somebody you're headed in school, somebody you're headed at work. Anyang is okay to use. And then you have 안녕하십니까, and then 안녕하세요. So usually when you're meeting new people, you always want to fare on the most formal way to express hello. So it's 안녕하십니까 or 안녕하세요. You could get away with either, in my experience. But you don't want to say 안녕 when you first meet somebody at all. This is more if you're friends or if you say to children. Yeah, moving on. Nice to meet you. So nice to meet you is 반갑습니다. But in this lesson, we're going to learn how to say 만나서 반갑습니다. So 만남 is this is the way that it appears in the dictionary. So 만남 and then 반갑다. So right, so these are the roots, right? This is the way they are spelled in the dictionary. So if you were to copy and paste, for example, 만남 into your Naver right here. I'm a little worried about what's going to come up, but right. So 만남, and then we can click on our dictionary. Right. So you can see here, you have 극적인 만남, 우연한 만남, 만남을 주선하다. Right. So it's all the various ways of expressing 만남, and then these are the other definitions in Chinese, Japanese, and French. Okay, so going back to the lesson, you also have 반갑다. So 반갑다 as well. If you were to take it, paste it into your dictionary and then search, this is the way it shows up, right? Glad, happy, pleasant, welcome, right? And this is the phrase we're going to learn, right? 만나서 반갑다, right? So it's 반갑습니다, 반갑습니다, and 반가워. Right, so 반갑습니다 is the most formal, and then 반가워 is the least formal. So 반갑습니다, 반가워. This is again someone you would say to that you are more familiar terms with. So 만나서 반갑습니다 is the most formal. This is basically saying since I met you, it was good. I am glad to have met you, right? So it's nice to meet you. In Korean, it doesn't exactly always translate, but 만나서 반갑습니다, right? We met, so happy, right? 만나서 반가웠어요. So because we met, I was happy, and this is past tense. So I am glad to have met you. Nice to meet you, and I am glad to have met you. So 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반가웠어요. 만나서 반갑습니다. 만나서 반가웠어요. Moving on. Goodbye. All right, so goodbye also employs 안녕. 안녕 actually just means peace, by the way. It doesn't really mean goodbye or hello. It just means peace. So this is basically saying, when you say 안녕히 가세요, if you're saying goodbye to somebody who is leaving, right? So if I'm at the party and I am at the party and my friend is leaving, I would say this to him or her. 안녕히 가세요. And this is basically saying go in peace, right? Interesting. And then 잘가, right? It's the least honorific form. Is 잘가 is the same thing. So it's this ga, and I rarely, for a long time, I didn't understand this part, but ga in this sense just means to go, right? So 잘가, 잘 means go well. So 잘가 means go well, and then 안녕히 가세요 means go in peace. Now, if I were to stay at the party, I would express it this way: 안녕히 계세요, right? So if my friend is staying at the party and I'm leaving, I would say to that person, in peace or peacefully stay here, or 잘했어, right? 잘했어, 잘가 and 잘했어. So if I'm leaving, I say to my friends 잘했어 or 잘했어요, and they would say 잘가, and I would say 잘했어. If I was the one leaving, I would say that to my friends. All right, moving on. Thank you. 감사하다. 고맙다. Right? So again, we have the most formal, and then the a form that is least formal than that. So we have 감사합니다, 고맙습니다, 고마워. Right? So both of these, this is the most formal. So you would say this to strangers, people you don't know, your boss, whoever you want to be formal with or show respect for. 고맙습니다 is slightly below 감사합니다, slightly it's more informal. And then 고마워 is again, it doesn't take away from the meaning. It's just when you say something like 고마워 to somebody, it reflects your relationship more. It could be a more intimate relationship if you say 고마워 as opposed to using formals, because sometimes formals is seen as the relationship is not as close if there's use of formal language. I'm sorry. So we have 죄송하다 and 미안하다. 죄송하다 again is the most formal, and this is a little less informal, right? So 죄송합니다 and 미안해요, but you could also say 미안합니다 and 미안해, right? So one more time. 죄송합니다, 미안해요, 미안해. And I wanted to explain this because you're going to see this a lot as you learn Korean, is the hada. And so hada, 해, or 합니다, or 해요, or 해, or hada, it just basically means to do. So if I were to say to you, 해, whatever you're doing, or if we're going to play a game and you'd say like, do you want me to play the game? And I would say 해, which means like do it, right? Or 해봐, but we won't get into that. But 해 just means do, right? Or 하세요, 해. And so there's all sorts of formal endings that are put on the ends, but what you need to know for now is that the root is hada, right? So it's hada is the two. So if there's not a word for it in Korean, you can say stretching hada, which they might actually say, I'm not sure. So stretching as in before you work out, you're going to stretch. In Korean, they might say stretching hada, right? to do the stretching. All right. So that's 하다, 합니다, 해요, and 해. Thank you again for tuning in, and I hope you have a nice day.